soldiers suffering from PTSD or
Right.
whatever that. Yeah, she does a lot of good work, and I don't know. One of these days I'll get to Austin, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, Austin's a great town.
I know, and I'm an acoustic guitar player, so I should come down for the big
Oh
festival.
yeah,
there.
Or,
I might never leave though. I might just like get a big can and leave and come with my guitar and just live on the street and enjoy myself.
there's no shortage of those guys here. This
Yeah.
is definitely a music town.
Yeah, but they're all going to be rich and famous someday.
Yeah, no, I mean you can get discovered here for sure. But well, hey, what I thought we would do, John, how I thought we would break this down. And again, we can go any direction you want in any order. But my thoughts were we would just log in and as an affiliate to show you the back office system and the services that we provide, and then transition to actually logging in as a customer and then showing you the customer solution and the platform we provide every one of our buyers. Is that all right to go in that order, or do you want to focus on one or the other in particular?
I'd probably be more intrigued by what the customer's getting.
Okay.
Because I imagine it's pretty similar to what the back end for the affiliate looks at.
Yeah, and I can say
whatever you think and whatever you're most comfortable with, I'm game.
No, I can go either direction. I can circle back to the back office if you need to dive into that further. Just keep in mind that when I show you the customer, when I log in as a customer here, that that all the information is coming from the back office system that we have within Boundless. So with that in mind, then I can kind of show you and speak to some of the things that are within the portal and what we provide every buyer. So with that, well, first of all, you seen my screen and my arrow moving around?
I do, thank you.
Okay. So yesterday, I actually had a presentation with a customer, and I used this portal site. So right now, just a couple housekeeping things. You should see Spectrum in the upper left-hand corner. That's the actual business that this particular employee works for. And we're actually logged as an individual, and I don't know what his name is, but we'll find out. His name is Todd Adams. So I don't know what Todd's last name is, but Todd is actually the buyer that buys from these guys. These are affiliates. This is Graham Robbins and Teresa Knight. Actually, Graham and Teresa are partners, so they obviously portray that way. But optically, this can look however you want it to look. It can be, the brand of the company can be up there. Your brand can be up there. It doesn't matter to us. Your pictures can be up here. If you don't want it up there, that's fine. It can be just your contact information. But you have flexibility in adjusting the template to however you want it to look like. So what does this portal do, and what is the value proposition it brings to the buyer? So like I said earlier, everybody that you would sell to that purchases from you would have one of these. So on this portal site, Todd, the buyer, can come here and buy brand approved products. In other words, a store. Also purchase products directly online here. They also have the ability to shop, there's our tiered one and preferred vendors, and there's countless thousands of products that they can search just like you would on ESP or any other sourcing site, and then in turn communicate to you, the affiliate, that they want to purchase that item or they want a quote or whatever. They also have customer service features such as reporting. They can look at what they purchased from you in the past. They can see the amount that they spent, and they can put budgets in place based on whatever parameters they set forth, whether it's calendar year, semi-annually, or whatever. They also have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to order status visibility, which I'll show you here. I'm going to show you all this, by the way. And I'm just kind of highlighting some of the features on this site. They also have visibility to product reviews. More than likely, we'll do some searches here and we'll find some products that have been reviewed by buyers. They can look at other buyers within Spectrum Business and see what they bought from the affiliate, the images, and they can communicate with those individuals. And they can also see trending items that are being bought by, specific industries, and see what's been purchased as of late to, rank from, the number of products bought versus things that aren't bought. So most popular items. Again, a lot of this stuff, like I talked about yesterday, is things that you see in Amazon. So with that, any questions on just the housekeeping? And I'm going to go over some of this stuff with you here right now.
Yeah, no,
show you live.
I'll just keep listening.
Okay, so let's start off with just customer service, like order status. So Todd, again, has this website. We're logged in as Todd. If Todd has any orders that are in process, you can go check order status and run reports. So when I click on that, it will take me to all his orders that are currently in process. In process in our world is orders that have yet to be paid. So it could be just placed, it could have been shipped, and there's tracking information, but it's an open order, it hasn't been paid yet. So if he wants to see where his polos are, looks like that's the order he's got right now, and the in-hands date is 11/12. You can come in here and click on the order number, and up will appear where the order is in the production process. So as you can see here on the very top where I'm pointing out, this is the tracking. And it's in customer terminology. It doesn't say it's in graphics. It doesn't say that the product's just been screened. It'll say things like order initiated, in production, shipped, invoice, and complete needs paid. So as a buyer, I know that it's in production, and I know the estimated in-hands date. If you look below there, the order was placed on 10/26, and the order is scheduled to ship 11. The in-hands date is scheduled to be 11/12. But if it did ship, if it was shipped, the tracking information would appear here, and I can click on that link, and it would tell me the date it shipped. It would tell me if it's been delivered, who signed for it, and so on. So all that order information again is real time. And then again, below this is just a summary of the order. He's ordered 10 shirts, $17.50, $175. Hasn't been shipped yet, so there's no freight information on here as of yet. Any questions on that?
On the right hand side, recent buys, is that just within Spectrum, or is that just kind of real live data within the Boundless network?
Well, just if you ever bought from Amazon, there's a thing like people like me. People like you. So when we entered Todd, when Graham here, the affiliate entered his buyer Todd into the system, it will ask him what department he works in. And the choices, it's kind of a multiple choice. It's HR, operations, manufacturing, marketing, and production, and so on. So Todd may be, I'm guessing here, but Todd may be marketing person. And over to the right, it'll say recent buys. These are see real products ordered from people like you. These are all people. This is just an advertisement to get people to shop, quite frankly. But it highlights people who are designated as market people and what they bought. Trending items. That's kind of what we call it here.
That's what I assumed, but I didn't know if that was just coming from within Spectrum of what they purchased.
Yeah, and we'll show you here a little bit what a person within, look at the reporting within Spectrum as well. So that's the order status. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These guys can come online and see where their order is. Now, I'm going to tell you something very important here, because this, what I'm going to tell you, is really what drives adoption and usage of these sites. So one of the things we do here at Boundless, if you remember yesterday, we were talking about that SanMar t-shirt order and what our order management team does as it relates to managing that order throughout the life cycle. So when an order's placed, we contact the customer 2 times no matter what. First is an order acknowledgement, and the second is the scheduled ship date. So when Todd placed this order, he received an order acknowledgement. It says, Todd, thank you for the order. Click on the link to get your scheduled ship date, which again, 11, whatever that date is, 11, 12, or same day, or whatever it is. But it comes in the form of a link. But it's an email. The email comes over links. When he clicks on that link, it takes him to here, to their portal. Same thing happens when the order shipped, and the order management person, the system automatically kicks out a tracking information to him as well. When they click, they'll get in a link. When they click on the link, they'll come to their portal. So that's what gets these guys here, and eventually, we want them to check order status, but what we really want them to do is buy. So,
yep.
All right, so I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna scroll down. I'm gonna go back to the same icon, and I'm kind of this area running reports, depending on what type of audience you're presenting to, but managers care about spend and reports. Buyers care about getting the product there done, on time and done right at a cheap price. But when you're having management conversation, you're going after programs now, because I'm going to go to my accounts here, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to click on reports. And when I click on reports, I can put whatever time frame I want. There's a bunch of choices here that are standard, last 7 days, current year, previous year, whatever date parameters I want to put in place, or I can actually just plug them in. In this case, I'm going to go current year, but I can change this to 8 days, 9 days, whatever I want to search. When I click on generate a report, it'll pull up a spreadsheet, and it'll list all the orders that Todd's placed, orders that have been paid. But sum total, he knows how much he spent, and he's placed 21 orders. As I scroll down, it lists each one of those 21 orders. So I'll give you a kind of a real-life scenario with people that use this tool quite a bit, and it's actually on reorders. So, say Todd placed an order at the beginning of the year. He forgot what the order number was, or he wanted to take a look at it for whatever reason. So I'm just going to randomly pick out, I don't know, whatever this is. So I can click on the order, and it'll take me to, well, naturally I put one on this that's has yet to be invoiced for whatever, or is invoiced but has yet to be paid. Okay, I picked the wrong one. I want to pick one out that's been paid. So I'm going to pick one of these guys out. So what it is it just kind of gives me the summary of the order, which is the tracking information, and I can communicate out to Graham that I want to place a reorder on this item, or if I want to download the invoice for whatever. If I want to reorder the item, I just click on here, reorder, and it'll summarize the order, the ship to address. I can make whatever changes I want, and when I send a request, it goes directly to Graham. If I need a copy of the invoice for whatever reason, I can download, and we send it electronically, obviously, but that's what the invoice would look like. So, make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the reporting part of it. One other thing that I think is important to note here too, Todd here, the guy that we're logged in on, the buyer within Spectrum, he has authority to only view his individual orders. And 95% of your buyers, or 99% of them, will have just that capability. They only have the ability to look at their products and what they ordered. However, when you're dealing with a manager at Spectrum, you can give that manager visibility to whatever set of buyers that report up to him. Maybe the vice president of marketing. We can give him visibility to the entire organization. Maybe whatever subset group that you wanted to define. And again, that really, especially with that management audience, is of value to them, because again, their responsibility for ROI, they're responsible for budgets and whatnot. So visibility spend is important to that audience. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. So now I'm going to go over to shopping for products. So I go browse here. You'll notice there's a store. And you can, in every buyer, every client, you have the ability to set up store items. And what store items are items that are pre-approved by the client. They meet all the brand requirements, and the ability for the buyer to actually go out and click a button and buy. So I'm just going to pick apparel. So if I click on apparel, as you can see here, there's a bunch of items. I'm going to pick one here with stars on it because I know it's been reviewed. So when I click on the item, it will show through, and I can select a logo. So this is important too, because sometimes companies have more than one different color stack. That's what one color stack looks like. So now I'm live online. I'm not going to go too much farther here, but you've got the sizes and decoration is embroidery. I know that somebody named Cindy ordered this 10 days ago. And again, I have a review here from Laura here, March 4th, 2015, with these comments on this product. But I can go in here and I say, I want, 100. I type in 100. The product will automatically calculate. And again, I'm live online here, but I can then check out. So I'm not going to go any farther here, but if I click on add to cart, if I go farther, it'll work Graham. But if I add to cart, it will then ask me for what sizes I want, the size breakdown of the 100, and if there's extra large cost $1 more, that's already noted in when we uploaded the product into the database. It's already been noted. It'll calculate the sum total of the invoice, and it'll ask you how you're going to pay for it. And the last question will be where you're going to ship it to. All that information is automatically uploaded because Todd's already got a shipping address in here, but he has the ability to change that address if so desired. And when he places that order, that goes up to Graham. Graham approves that order and can then put that into our back office system.
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Nope. Real straightforward.
So again, like I said, every customer has the ability. It looks like he's got quite a bit of apparel in here that are Spectrum, and he's even got more. If I clicked on more, he's got more in there too. Yep. I can, sort them however I want by price, whatever, date purchase, most popular, all kinds of criteria there. So I'm going back to browse. And I can also search for, different items as well that are outside outside of the store. So if I'm looking for housewares, you can pull me up to houseware items also. So you'll get random set of products that are considered houseware, and you can sort them. We typically put, what we do when they do random searches is we always start off, if there's an item in the store that's already been brand approved, we start there. Those items appear first, and then items that are not appear, outside of the store approved obvious are in the database as well, but they're farther down. You can also search and see what others within the company are buying. So if I want to see, Charter Communication purchases, I can click on Charter Communications, and it'll pull up products that were bought by peers. And again, I can sort by category and whatnot. And you'll see items that have been bought by other people within Spectrum. And as you can see with the stars, they've been reviewed. After every order has been shipped, we send an email out to the recipient, and we ask for if they'd like to provide a review. 100% certainly doesn't fill it out, but I would say we're between 18 and 20% of the people that actually do fill it out and respond in some way, shape, or form. And then you can also look at products that you bought, your recent buys. So if I click on that, it'll list all the items that Todd's bought. So it'll give the visibility to those items. And then if you want to see what people in the utilities industry are buying, and again, this particular client's defined as utilities, we deal with other companies like Time Warner and whatnot, it will list those items. But what you'll notice here is they're blank. So it doesn't say Time Warner or Comcast or anything like that. It's just got random images of the product and with no logo on it. So what you see is what we provide to every buyer. The variable here, when I say variable, is you have the ability to create a store where it's ready to purchase, or you can choose not to. If it's a Radiator Shop and there's only one buyer, there's no reason to give Bob a bunch of spend a lot of time uploading virtuals and putting pricing in place for one guy. So what Bob's Radiator Shop would just have, access to the thousands of products and search by price point category or whatever. Mid-sized clients, larger clients that they're trying to get a program started with, it makes sense to have a pre-made store where you can offer the opportunity for buyers to go out and buy. That's the only difference. Bob at Bob's Radiator Shop, one guy, he still has visibility reporting. He still has visibility order status. He still has visibility to shopping. He still has visibility reviews. He's got visibility tracking information and whatnot. And you can look at all other companies that are designated as automotive or radiator shops, whatever. But every one of your buyers would be provided one of these. And that's what we offer. And I think that's quite a bit different than what you saw a while back. But I think last time we talked, probably did Brad or Jason go over group buy at all?
No.
Yeah. See, he doesn't have a group buy campaign. But let me take you offline once, and I'll find a group buy. Group buy, just let me give you a verbal explanation of it, and I want to actually show you one. Group buy is a technology. We actually have a patent on it. If you ever use Groupon, it's kind of very similar to that. It's where you feature an item, a coffee mug, a shirt, whatever it may be, and you give multiple buyers the opportunity to buy all at once. The objective being to have multiple orders that increase the quantity and drive down the price. So I am going to pull up a group buy here. See if this one's live. Okay, so this one will work. So do you see my screen?
I do, yes.
Okay. So this just again housekeeping here. What are you looking at? You're looking at a group buy template. This is what a recipient would receive. Those buyers that you determined that you wanted to give the opportunity to participate in this group buy. The client is BoxIt. So this is a company specific group buy. So it's only going within the company. It can go to different buyers at different companies as so desired, but you can also do company specific group buys. These are very popular when you have companies that are running campaigns or they have repeat orders on the same product throughout the year. And instead of having those guys go to a store and buy minimum quantities and pay a higher price, they try to aggregate all those orders together because they're ordering the same thing to increase the volume and drive down the price. So you're going to get a better price domestically because of the number of units, or in some cases you can take the thing overseas and really get some good, interesting pricing and improve margins. So let me kind of describe the template and then we'll walk through an order here. So again, it's branded BoxIt. I'm logged in as somebody named Annette. That's the buyer. And then here are the products. These products are obviously visuals of the products, descriptions of the products, and then the price point. The group buy is going to expire in 2 days, in 13 hours, and 29 minutes, and 13 seconds. So it's a timer on there. But as you can see, he's got 3 items on here, and then a explanation to what a group buy would look like. Just on a side note, the most successful group buys, when they're company specific like this, is when we create one of these things, these templates, and our affiliates then supply it to the manager of the company, and the manager sends it out to all the buyers. Again, just as a side note. You can send them out as well directly to the buyers also. But I'm going to pretend I'm a buyer now. I'm in that, and let's say I like this bike bottle. It's pretty cool. And I want to view group buy details. When I do that, it basically takes me to a purchase order. So I see there's two days left. I see there's been $323 that's been purchased. And I see there's 253 more orders before we get to another discount. So when I scroll down here, you'll see highlighted in gray is what the current price is at. So I say, hey, I want to order some. So I'm going to order some blue ones, it looks like, and I'm going to order, I don't know, 500. So when I do that, you'll know, I don't know if you noticed this, but the gray box went from $279 to $250.
Yep. So
that's the subtotal, $1,250. If I click on add, I'm not going to go any farther, but if I click on add to order, it would go to back to the original screen that we were just on and show the other items, and I can order those items as well. But at the end after I'm done adding whatever I want to add to the order, I check out. And again, I tell them how I'm going to pay for it. Sometimes these group buys are centralized billing because it's going to one company, so I may be putting a cost center, I may be putting my name, whatever it is, it may be, and I'm putting the ship-to address on there. So so I'm done as a buyer. When this group buy ends in 2 days, I'll get an email. It'll say, hey, Pat, thank you for your order. You bought 500 sports bottles. And ideally you want it to say this, but when you bought 500 sports bottles at $2.50, if there was another bracket down here, it would say the total group buy order was 5,000 units and the price point is $1.99. You will now be invoiced XYZ dollars. So your order is going to ship XYZ date. So group buy, again, is another piece of technology that you can use. A lot of our folks will use it as a tool with clients to eliminate inventory. A lot of companies or individuals or companies are carrying $20,000, $30,000 inventory of like core items, and instead of doing that, they'll run group buys every month or group buys every quarter to that audience of buyers. Other examples of how
is the customer themselves able to develop and design their own group buy?
No,
you
would have to develop. You'd have to merchandise it.
Okay.
So, and it isn't rocket science work really, because it really comes down to a few things. One, you got to pick the product and the image. Two, you got to determine the quantity breaks you want and the pricing. And three, you got to determine the audience who you're going to email it to.
So for example, one of my clients bought a couple hundred of the Castelli Diaries today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Would they want to try to make a group buy out of that and try to get that price lowered by disseminating that to the other departments in the company? Or is that
well, you would want to do that, and I would suggest it to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Where it really gets kind of cool, and I'm going to give you the ideal, the cherry on the top type of scenario. But it's a real scenario. Is let's say you get, 20,000 USB drives orders, and you can do them overseas. And that's a pretty common item, right? And it's silver, it's pretty straightforward. You work with a vendor overseas and say, hey, what's your minimum quantities? I want to try to add to this order at 20,000. Typically, they'll give you something like that. They'll give you maybe 500 units by logo. And then you run a group buy, because that's kind of a commodity. Most of your buyers probably have bought a USB drive at one point in time, and then run a group buy to all your buyers and try to take that order from 20,000 to 30,000. And where it gets really cool, again, is that because it's an overseas price, there's no law saying that you have to price it at an overseas price. You can give them a hell of a discount and still make a lot more margin, more of a domestic discount on steroids. So, taking the $20,000 unit order and turn it into 30,000, it's pretty cool. So, for the right accounts and the right product, group buy can be a real value. I can tell you where it's going to be a value regardless is in scenarios where you're trying to go after new business, and they're mid or larger size companies. It doesn't have to be necessarily large, by the way. It's mid $50 million companies, but you can use this in your presentation and say, hey, Mr. Customer, I've sat behind a desk just like you have and had many vendors call on me before. And you're thinking in your head, what the heck makes this T-shirt guy different than the other T-shirt guy? Well, here's what makes me different. And that kind of goes with, it's not only this, what I'm showing you, but also, what we talked about it myself. Stone technology, the group buy is a supplemental piece. It can be on the portal as well. This is some of the technology pieces that you'd be able to, that our affiliates present to their clients and use on a daily basis. So that's kind of the customer-facing side of things. Any questions on that stuff?
No, that's kind of what I thought based on our conversations. What it looked like.
Another
thing, like I said, the company store programs are interesting to put up online. Ever since I've been independent, I've never put one together except for small trucking company, like I said yesterday, and I threw together one on Sanmar, and they run it maybe once or twice a year, depending on it, and the orders are very it's small, it's really small little program. So Sanmar solution is really simple. So I just never gone after that type of business.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Let me also show you something. What I just showed you is customer facing. It involves a portal, and what I'm going to show you next is something our salespeople, our affiliates really like, and it's also kind of weaves in the portal. I'm going to go back to, where am I going to go back to? I'm going to go back to an affiliate. And what I'm going to do is show you sourcing of proposals, because you're probably using ESP or Sage or whatever.
Use Sage.
We do, that's tied into our system. So let me go through, the best way to do this is just go through an example. So I wrote down one of his buyers, Ruby Luna. So I'm going to send a proposal to Ruby Luna here. So if you ever want to send a proposal to a client, you just have to go to Sage or ESP. You just type in the customer's name. And we call them idea books and projects. Projects is basically a proposal. Idea books is a marketing piece. I'm sending you some ideas. But and this will give you kind of some insight of where we're going here. I can create an idea book. Again, that's like a flyer. Projects is like a proposal. Create a new project. I just enter. This is just like a proposal you would do on ESP or Sage. Test, since it's a test. I can type whatever, enhanced date or whatever, but I'm going to skip that. I go create a project. And then it'll ask me if I want to add a product. So if I want to add a product, I can search ASI, ESP catalog, or search recent buys. Recent buys are items that have been bought within that company. But if I want to do an ESP search, I just click here. I type in whatever I want to look for, yellow mug. I can filter. I can do an advanced filter if I want by vendor or whatever, but I'm not going to get in the weeds here, but just so you're aware. So I type in that, it'll pull up, yellow mugs, and I'll pick one of them, and I can send in this individual a proposal. And when I do that, that buyer then can respond back if they're interested and they want to buy. I can obviously enter it in the system, but where we're going with this is January 1st, is our buy. You're going to be able to take, if you send a proposal to somebody and say you want to buy, you then can download that item directly into our order entry, so you're not doing double keystrokes.
Nice. Yeah.
So this is a feature that our people use, all the time, and it saves them a lot of money. Plus, it's all the quotes and projects are all in one spot based on buyer. So it just saves these guys, again, a ton of time. So, and again, there's obviously a lot of yellow mugs, but I can filter it however I want. I won't go any farther because otherwise I'm going to send this guy a yellow mug proposal, and my affiliate is going to wonder what the hell I'm doing. But my point being is that this isn't just a place where you enter orders and you have the ability to, not only the ability to enter orders, but also do proposals and whatnot directly online. So, make sense?
Yeah, excellent.
So, again, I'm going to kind of segue into the back office, just again, high level. I won't get in the weeds here. We talked about what we do as far as an order management piece, but just some features and benefits of the back office solution. You'll have visibility to report all kinds of reports, from your revenue reports, gross profit reports, order sales by customer, sales by buyer, what their margin is, etc. All your vendor information will be here. All your marketing information is here as well. So we have a lot of pre-existing marketing collateral that's been created that you can use for your presentations. You can also set, if you ever use Constant Contact before or Outbound Engine, we do have an automated marketing service too, where you upload a buyer or a prospect into the system, you enter their email address, you can put in a database so that they receive an email from you every 2 weeks. They can communicate back to you, they can order products, all via, electronic. So to show you some of this stuff, I'll just kind of highlight some of the reporting, but booked orders, these are kind of 3 real popular reports for our folks. Booked orders total, so if I click on booked orders total, it'll pull up a spreadsheet that will list all his orders from a monthly basis, his sales, his gross profit, his margin, his average order size, and the number of orders he's placed. So the takeaway here is when you log on, you'll know exactly where your financials sit. You'll also be able to look at orders by account, year to date, or whatever parameter you want to put forth, date parameter, and it'll list all your clients in alphabetical order, what their sales and gross profit is. Excuse me. And you can look at all your open orders. Open orders are again defined as orders that have yet to be paid. If I click on that, it'll take me to a spreadsheet that'll list all my open orders. Now, if you recall yesterday, I was talking about our account manager that would be assigned to you, how they have tasks every day based on where the order is in what stage the order is in. So this is kind of a mini bar graph here. You'll see over the left. What this represents is the number of orders that is open and then what stage they're in the production process. So you'll see it's broken down by PO, order description, account name, financials, and then created date, enhanced date, and the lighter shade of blue is the stage. So if you, for example, and it's a real world example that happens probably daily with our folks, there are orders that you're going to want to keep an eye on for high profile purposes for whatever reason. So if you get an order that, I don't know, say these pint glasses that are going to an executive meeting and it's Spiceworks and you want to find out where the heck the order is, the shipping date's been verified. But if I click on the pint glasses, it'll take you to the order detail report. And this is really what you saw in Portal, but it contains all the information on your purchase order. But also what it does include is the notes that have been made on this order by your account manager. So support notes, you'll see everything's been dated, and there's a notation. So the point that I'm trying to get across is that you're looking at the same notes that your account manager is that's assigned to you. You can pick up a phone and have a conversation with her, or you can see where, if this suffices, you can see where it is in the production process. And in addition to that, there's an activity journal, and that's the system tracking the order. So our electronic system, just think of your order getting a bar graph to it once it's placed. So as it goes through the production life cycle, the system is tracking the order as it goes through that cycle. And if the order stays on the stage longer than it should, based on the ship date, the order will be red flagged, which alerts the account manager and the customer service supervisor. So I'm not saying nothing goes wrong here, but it prevents a lot of little things from going awry. Sure. And just little stuff. There's so much stuff you can do here. Like if I want to place a reorder, I can click on reorder. If I need a packing slip for whatever reason, I can click on packing slip. It'll create a packing slip that I can forward to a vendor, and so on. Excuse me. What else can I show you here? Tasks. These are things that you can put in here that things that you want to keep top of mind, you can enter here. And it just gives you some information as far as status, and basically it's a top of mind reminder of things that you want to execute on. And when you complete, it's an $80,000 opportunity, it looks like. You'll have visibility, whatever notes you entered into the system. And then also, you know, in the spirit of having everything in one spot, you can have your calendar here as well. You probably use Outlook. This can link up to Outlook, so you have visibility in all your meetings and whatnot here as well. And then below that are more reports. So you got all kinds of reports here. A lot of them are self-explanatory. Aging reports, if you want to see where the orders are in collections. It'll pull up a real-time glimpse of as far as where your orders are within collections. And then you can even look at the collection notes if so desired. Everybody gets a sample expense budget based on their annual sales, and that's tracked as well. Most of our samples here are free, just because the vendors provide us free samples. A lot of the expense that goes from that budget is allocated towards things like shipping. And then, as I talked about before, we do have a preferred vendor group. We do pay rebates. We share rebates with our affiliates on those rebates on those vendors, and you get anywhere from 1 to 2% of your gross sales back from and so on. Telling you about a little bit about marketing. If you want to, again, we have a marketing department here, 3 people on staff. They create marketing collateral on behalf of our affiliates. And if you want your folks to get automated marketing, you can just simply go create new. You met somebody at a bar that looks familiar and he's an owner or whatever, and you want to market him. You enter him as a lead. You got his business card. You enter his information. And over here, I'm going to just point out marketing communications. These are marketing campaigns. So I simply check off a box, and that buyer, in turn, or lead would get a marketing piece from you bi-weekly. You can look at who opened up, what was the open rate, whether they click on it and whatnot if you'd like. And then other marketing, just common sense drip marketing, inactive buyers over here, where I'm pointing to. Those are buyers that haven't bought from you in 90 days. That's how we set, that's our parameter for inactive buyers. If I click on that, it will list those individuals out. So I can do nothing. If Muriel Lopez is my sister, then she's going to buy from me no matter what. I don't want to do anything. That's fine. Sarah Horowitz is a customer. I click that box. Sarah will get an automated email, and I'm ad-libbing here, but it's along the lines of, hey, Sarah, just want to check in and see if there's anything I can help you out that you may be working on. And then as far as additional marketing stuff, the resource tab here, you'll be here a lot. Our folks are here quite a bit. If you'll see all these icons here. This is basically just a library with the subject headings here. So if I want to present to a client, I click on that. I've got case studies. I've got white papers. I've got videos. I've got all kinds of collateral that you can pull and use as you see fit. If I want to do some prospecting, click on prospecting. We've got pre-existing prospecting campaigns that may be letters introducing Boundless for youths, buyers, and executives. These are all pre-written emails that you can edit and send out to clients. If you want to do a direct mail campaign, we have, looks like the cookie program going on. You can go on and order some cookies and have them sent out to prospective clients. Prospecting videos that say, hey, talks a little bit about Boundless, the portal, and some of the tools we have and whatnot. So I said a mouthful here. Let me stop here because think I'm out of gas. My voice is anyhow. You got any questions
I
for me?
No, it's as impressive as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean it's a different. I mean it's you're basically again outsourcing these things as an owner or salesperson, however you want to look at it. You spend your time selling. These are
Yep. And the stuff I've heard on the street, and what we talked about several years back, it's just been enhanced, which is a good thing.
Cool, man. Well, I enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate the demo and all the time, and I'll ring you. Like I said early. Do you want me to be in contact with Brandy, or do you want me to call you?
Yeah, you can give me or both of us a call. I'm around, and so yeah, we can chat. So however you'd like to play it. So we'll just drop you an email. I'm going to probably send you some stuff just to kind of look at, because I threw a lot at you. So what I'm going to probably do is just send you some case study stuff to take a look at, and it won't be a novel, just a couple pages to look at, and maybe get your mind thinking as far as how it's being used and who's using it and whatnot. So.
Yeah, it's definitely the program selling and the niche market. It's definitely chasing after much larger clients to make that value. Because a smaller client is just buying, that's just buying stuff. Might see the back office of some value, but that's not gonna drive their decision. So it's really it's obviously it's awesome to have, and I'm sure they'd appreciate having it. But it's finding that niche here in the Philadelphia area, which is not hard to find. There's a lot of big companies. You have a couple people selling in this area currently, correct?
Yeah, we have two guys by the name of John Dillon and Steve Cohen. Real good guys, and if you ever want to talk to those guys, I can connect you up with them.
I talked to Steve way back.
Oh, did you?
And,
yeah,
I did. Yeah, I think he had mentioned he did a lot with I think he said he was doing a lot of casino work. That was his niche.
I don't know how much he does with that. I think he still does a little bit with that. That's a tough business. So,
you're not kidding.
That's a damn tough business. So,
I had 3 purchase orders and was going to make $70,000 in commission on a closeout thing right around Christmas time, and I was working with one of the what the heck would you call them? I guess they're still selling all the closeout stuff for like all the big name brands. And I don't know if you're familiar with a guy from Marketing and Sales Group.
No, it doesn't.
In this area, and we put I get into one of the casinos. We put together a program of all their closeouts. So we were going to bring down the stuff and blah 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 blah. It was interesting. And then I was working at the time for Renaissance Promotions, and the purchase orders came over the fax machine. And the owner of the company's like, he was cursing. He's like, "What are you doing? I'm not doing business with them. They're not going to pay." Blah blah. And I said, "Well, I told you I was doing this program, and we worked out the margins, and we worked out that the guy said they weren't going to pay for 90 days, and we worked it all in, and yada, 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 and you said you do it." He goes, "But I didn't think you were going to really get it." It was funny. And sad part is, he rejected it anyway. And the guy was going down the highway, the buyer from the casino, with the owner of Renaissance and myself. And the guy was cursing like crazy. And then the guy who's the sales guy at Marketing Sales Group, he went on and just gave it to another distributor, and that guy did the program and walked away with $70,000 in cash.
That
is a little painful.
That's the way to do it, though. As you hit the closeouts, it's just, man, it's high risk. Because I've seen, I'll give you an example, not to digress here, but a dude that's out of LA, that's what he does is casino business. And anyhow, they bought some sofas or something like that. MGM or one of them up there did. And shit, it was it was all closeouts, and had to deliver man. They downsized them were the business, so hogs that is. So those aren't fun. But
so the long story is that buyer from that casino ended up being arrested. Not long after that, honest to God, because the person that I knew down there got me in through the back door, and literally he was arrested. He called me out. He goes, "You're not going to believe this." The guy literally, they came in and arrested him right inside his office.
Yeah, we had the state of Pennsylvania come down here to Austin. Whoever the agents they hired to do background checks on all of us. So, organized crime is still alive and well up in Philly and the casino business up there. They take it pretty seriously. So
yeah, it's interesting. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much. Safe travels back home, Brandy. Thank you for your time, and I'll ring you guys early next week.
All right, have a good day. Bye-bye now.
Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.